Hello and welcome to our fifth session, and in this session we are going to build our component one by one, and the very first component that we are going to work today is the NavBar. So first of all, what is this NavBar? Let us see where we are going to see this NavBar. In this website you can see the logo, then you have the name and human touch. See this text, this logo, then these four navigation items: about, services, courses and contact. All this comes in the NavBar. Now let us come back to our Visual Studio Code. We are in the app.js file, and in this file we have added this NavBar already here. So to open this NavBar, press Ctrl and click on this NavBar, and when I click on this, you can see now in source components you have this navbar.jsx file, and that file will be opened, and this is the file that we are going to now work. So here I am going to rewrite these statements. I will select the first line here. First of all, we are going to import some components that we need for this navigation bar. The very first thing I am going to import is, the first thing is we will import React, and apart from React, comma, we are going to import, I will open flower bracket, in that I will import use effect and comma, then use state. And all these three, use effect, use state and React, all these three we are going to import from where we are going to import? We are going to import it from React. So, and then end this with colon. So this is the very first line we have added. Now press Ctrl S and save it. There are no errors. So we have imported this. Now the next thing I want to import is, since this is a navigation bar and since we are going to click on it to navigate or one page to another, what I am now going to do is, I am going to import the second component, import, and in flower bracket I am going to write its name. It is called as link, where L is capital, and this link is coming from, automatically see it shows from React router DOM. I will import, I want specific styles that has to be applied for this. So the thing I am going to import is styles, and from where I am going to import it? I am going to import it in inverted comma. I am going to give the path. Now where is the style.js? See, navbar.jsx is inside components, and the navbar.js should come out of the component, and it has to access this style.js file. So for this, what I have to do is, if I put one full stop on one forward slash, it will go to the root of the current folder. But now I want this to go from component to source src. For this, what I have to now do here is, instead of adding one full stop, I will add two full stops, and after adding two full stops, then I am going to add this forward slash, and you can see here you have the file style, and I will end this with colon. So this is the third import statement. Now press Ctrl S. Now the next import statement that I am going to use is, next I want to import, what I want to import is, in open close flower bracket, I want to import nav link, and from where we are going to import this nav link is, see, if you come to the, so we are going to take nav link from the source index constants index dot folder. So you can see here you have all the components that are being declared here. So you can see export constant nav link, and all the details you have about, work, contact. See, all this we want to import this, and this is present where? In index.js file, which is present in constants folder. I am going to now import this nav links. So it is plural. I am going to import nav links, from where it will automatically select the path. See, it will go to the root, and from constants we are importing the nav links. And apart from this, if you come to source assets, if you open assets, in assets you have one index.js, and in this you have all the images that we are going to use it in our file. Say for example, there is one logo.svg. We are going to use this logo.svg for the logo, and all this we are going to call it through this index.js. So for logo we have an icon, for menu we have an icon. Actually this is the big side, and when I rescale it and when I make it small, you are seeing one menu item. This menu item, click, I want this close icon. See this close icon, this logo, all these are going to come from this file. So for this I am going to close this. I am going to come back here, and for this I am going to come here and I am going to import in flower bracket. The very first thing I will import is the logo, and after logo comma I am going to import the menu, and then I am going to import close, and I am going to import these three, from where we are going to import this from, and in inverted commas I will add 2 period, then forward slash. All this is going to come from the folder assets, and then I will end it with colon. So now let us come to this main work area, and in this return we had this div navbar here. We were getting this navbar from here. I will select this div and I will delete it. And now if I save this, you are seeing an error because nothing is getting returned. That's why you are getting the error. Don't worry, if I add something here, the error will be gone. So what I am going to add here is, I am now going to add lesser than sign, and I am going to call nav, and I will press the greater than sign. I add this nav and I will press enter. So for this nav I will press space now, and I am going to type class name. Okay, I will select this. The very first class we are going to declare it little differently now. Now what we are now going to do is, we are going to add a dollar sign, and in open close bracket, that is flower bracket, inside this open close flower bracket I am going to call the styles. See, we had imported styles here, and in styles I want padding X. This is the first thing I require. And from where is it coming? So if you come to this, you have this style file. I will just click on this, and if you scroll in this style file, we have added padding X, which has 6 pixels padding on larger phones, and in smaller devices it has 16 pixel padding. And this declaration is what I will close this. We are calling it over here. I will then press space, and then the next thing we will call is W width full. That is, it will occupy the full width. Then the next thing I will call is flex. I am going to call this as flex, and then I will call the next class items center, and after this I am going to call py padding. Y padding I will set it to 5. That is the padding along the vertical length. I am going to give it a 5 padding that is 5 pixel padding. Then we are going to make this menu fixed. Fixed means in this site what happens is when I scroll, you can see the menu is not going to move up. See, this menu stays at the same position. For this, we are using fixed. That is the reason we are using fixed. And after this, I am going to set the position. It will be in a position from the top. It will have 0 margin, and now this should be above all other elements. So for this, in the Z index, I will set a higher value. Say for example, I will set it as 20, and then I am going to define a background color as bg underscore primary. Okay, so now what happens is, since it is becoming lengthy, I can use one feature here. If I press Alt Z, or if I go to view word wrap, now what happens is, depending upon the length, this gets wrapped up like this, so that we need not scroll and have a look at it. See, this entire thing is one line, so it is getting wrapped into the second line. You can see here, this is not line number 10, this is line number 9 only. To see the entire content correctly, it is just wrapping it to the below line. And with this, now I will press Ctrl S and save it. Nothing change is happening because inside this nav we doesn't have anything as of now. So if I press enter and if I come here, now the next thing here is, I am going to add a div inside this navbar. I am going to add this left arrow and type div and the closing right arrow. You have this div. I will press enter. I will press space, and here again we are going to call some class names. And the class name we are going to call is, first is w full, means it should occupy the entire length. Then again we are going to call flex. Then we are going to justify it. We are going to use justify between here. We will use justify between. Then all the items needs to be centered, and we are going to set its maximum width to 7XL. 7XL means this will be, the width will be maximum, and then we are going to set its margin MX as auto. So we have set this margin. It immediately shows me the tips here. So we have added these class names, and again I am going to save it. There is no error. Now one thing you might be thinking, what is this w full, flex, justify between? How are we adding these classes? From where are we adding it? What job it is going to do? If you want to understand it, see, what you do is you select every class name here. All these classes are coming from Tailwind CSS. So what you do is you open your browser. So I will open my browser here, and in the browser I am going to come to the site tailwindcss.com. First link, tailwindcss.com. You have docs here. Come to docs, and in docs you have one search engine here. See, in the search, come in the search and type this w full. If I type it, it is going to show me what job that class is going to do. If I click on this, see, I get w full, w half, w 2/3. So if I give different values, what happens? You can see this over here. And similarly, similar to this, if you want to know what is flex, I want to know what is flex means, I can come here and again in this search bar type flex and click on flex. It is going to show all the properties regarding flex, and then you have justify between. So like this, you can just type these class names here and you can just check what job it is doing. So you can just verify it. So how it is going to justify between means how it justifies, it is showing. So like this, using this Tailwind CSS, you can come to know what class we have to use and what purpose does it serve. There are also, we will also have some examples like this. Now coming back here, inside this div now, let us come inside this div. Coming inside this div, I will come to next line here and I am going to call the tag now link. See, I am going to call link and I will close the tag with right arrow and I will press enter. And now in this link, what I want this link to do is, link means when you click on whatever content is placed inside the link, where it should go. For this we use the keyword to, and we are going to ask it to go to, actually here it is putting the bracket. So instead of bracket, what I will do is I am going to use inverted comma, and in the inverted comma I will add forward slash. Forward slash indicates that when someone clicks on this, this should move to the top of the page. That is what is mentioned here. And after this link to, I will press space, and the next parameter I want is again the class name, and in this case again I am going to use flex. Then items center, I will make it center, and the next one is I want a gap of 2 pixels. I am going to add these parameters over here. Now here this is a button, and for this button, regularly in HTML if we want to add a tag, we use href and give the link, whereas in React we are going to do this in a different way. So for this what I will do is, so we have added the link to, for this to be little clear, I will bring the class name to the next line, and then after this I will press a space and come down, and next I am going to call a function called onClick. And this onClick function, when I use this onClick function, you can see automatically you have equals and you have one open and close flower bracket, and inside this I am going to call a function. The way we call a function is I will put open close bracket. This means that this is not going to return, means we are not going to give any parameters here, and then press enter. I will add one equal sign, greater than sign, and then I am going to put one open close flower bracket, and inside this flower bracket I am going to put all the commands that on the click this has to execute. And for this, the very first thing I am going to set is, see now, so when you are in the home side page, see this should be means white. When I am in about, see about becomes white. Services becomes white and all others are gray. So like this, in this menu, for every item wherever I click, these should become active. But right now when you are on the topmost, nothing is active. Okay, this is what we are going to achieve now. I will close this and I will come here for this. Now here I am going to declare a variable type object. We call this as an object, and this object is set active, and this set active, and I am going to add inverted comma. This will be set to null, and I am going to end it with semicolon. So as of now, this computer doesn't know what is set active. So this I have to declare it. So how are we going to declare? So for this, I will move on to the top. That is, as soon as this NavBar starts, that is before this return, I am going to press enter and I am going to declare an use state. And this use state, I will put open close bracket. You can see use state is available here. I will put open close bracket here, and initial value of it, I will put inverted comma to set it to 0. And this use state will be actually equal to I will declare a constant, and this constant is a list, and list is always represented with open and close square brackets. I will put one open square bracket, close square bracket, and this will be equal to this use state. And what is the constant we are going to declare here is, we are going to declare two values here. One is active, then comma, the next is set active. We are setting two values over here. Set active, we have already used it here. So I add this line, and finally I will end it with colons. So with this, now I will press Ctrl S and save it, so there are no errors. Now after this, after set active, I will come to next line, and as soon as someone clicks on this navigation bar, see, this is like the home window here. So wherever you are, say for example, I am somewhere here, I have scrolled somewhere here. If I click on this, I have to come to the top of the screen. And to do this, we are going to add here window. I will add window, and then I will add scroll to. T is capital in this. See, you have this function scroll to, window period scroll to, this is a function, and in the parameter you have to give x and y value. I will set this value to 0, 0, so that it scrolls to the top of the screen. Now coming over here, what we are now going to do is, inside this link, I am now going to press enter, and I am now going to add an image here. So for this, in HTML, image tag comes with this lesser than sign, then img, and image is a self closing tag, means I'll add forward slash and close this, and inside this image, the source, what is the image, from where the image file will be taken, that is determined by the source, and the source should be equal to, instead of this equal sign, now I am going to use a variable. So use this flower brackets, and in the flower bracket inside enter logo, and then remove of this extra inverted comma. So source will be equal to the logo. The logo is coming from components which we have imported here from component. Okay, and this logo is the source, and then the next thing here is, if I press space, I am going to give an alt name to it. Alt name means if a blind person is going to read it, he should know what it is. So for that reason, I am going to give alt name as Sudhindra SG logo. You can give anything, and then I am going to add this with a class name, and the class what I want is, I want the width of this to be equal to 9, then space, height to be equal to 9, and I am going to call object contain. I am going to call this class. So I am going to call these three classes, and then as soon as I save it, you can immediately see that you have a huge logo appearing over here. Now here, if you come to constants index.js, where we have declared this navlink, we have added these titles about, work, contact. None of this is visible here. We are not seeing none of this navlinks, so we have an issue now. So we have an issue with the navlink. Right now, this issue we have to solve it, because when we install Tailwind CSS, we are using Vite as our platform, and Tailwind CSS is not directly configured for Vite. So now for Tailwind CSS to run, I have to start my project again with React Native or Webpack or with some other packaging program. However, I doesn't want to do it. I want this to run in Vite. Now, let us in our next session, how can we debug this? How can we make this Tailwind CSS run in the Vite platform? This we are going to explore it in our next session. Thank you.